All right, so welcome back. As I said before, this is the second portion in dealing with favoritism. And as I said, it was too much to just sandwich into one video in one kind of 15-minute segment. I thought there was a lot more stuff that I could talk about. And so I really wanted to just do a little bit more fleshing it out. So here's the second portion. Hopefully you enjoy. Okay, so, and there's actually a great illustrative story for this that I really want to talk about, and it's the story of Joseph. Now, I don't want to get all preachy with you. The idea is like I wouldn't bring in a story from the Bible if I didn't see that it would be really important to talk about. Okay, so when a lot of people think about the story of Joseph, they think about the Joseph in the, not Mary and Joseph, just Christmas stuff, but Joseph in the sense of from the Old Testament when the coat of many colors. Okay, but I want to rewind this back because this is more of a behavioral thing, and think about the generation before. Jacob, he had two wives and then a couple of concubines, whatever you call them, like servants. But he had Leah and Rachel were the main wives that we want to talk about. And so you had Leah, who Jacob honestly didn't really care about, and then you had Rachel, which Jacob absolutely loved. And that's, first of all, it's problematic when and polygamy, that's a big no-no, not endorsing that. It's a terrible thing, in my opinion, absolutely terrible. But in that dynamic, you're like, well, who's he gonna favor? And it's terrible, really. Could you imagine being married to someone and they're like always being nice to someone else but not you? Like, that's stupid. You don't want to get treated like that. So then back in this time period, the idea was like, okay, well, we want to have kids or carry on the family name, procreation, that kind of thing. Leah's all having sons left, right, and center, and she's like, each time she comes in, she's like, yeah, we're gonna have another son, and it's gonna be awesome, and like my husband's gonna love me now because I'm providing him with sons, and my sister over there, and Rachel and Leah are sisters, and ironically, big story behind that. Go into Genesis and read it. Even if you aren't a Christian, you have no religious affiliation, just read it. It's a really interesting story. But then all of a sudden you have Rachel who can't have children. And she's like, I'm doing all these things where my husband should love me, but he's not. And he's just doting on this other woman, my sister, who that automatically is like rivalry right there. It's like, yikes. But then all of a sudden you have the coat of many colors in that idea when Joseph is born. Rachel finally has a kid. Name is Joseph. And then Jacob's ecstatic, gives this, like, he's basically a fancy robe. You could think of him as he's all of his other kids, he's like, yo, we're shopping at the Gap. Joseph, I'm taking you to Louis Vuitton. And so he's strutting around. Think about it, like, all you brothers, you like hanging out, and you're just wearing Gap t-shirts, and all of a sudden this guy got Louis Vuitton, and he's flexing on you. And you're just like, really, Dad? You bought him that? I'd be pissed. I'd be like, why? What has he done? Just because he came from that woman? Really? Like, it honestly doesn't give us a whole lot of like character context where it's like, is Joseph an amazing person? Or was he an amazing kid? I'm assuming he's probably a pretty decent guy. Otherwise, Jacob probably, he probably wouldn't like him that much. But he liked him in association of his wife, Rachel. And so all these kids, they're alienated. They're like, oh my goodness, like this guy's flaunting. And he also had this little bit of like a God complex where he started having visions, and he's like, y'all, you guys are all going to bow down to me, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, that first of all, you're basically strutting around in the equivalency of Louis Vuitton of the yesterday. And when everybody else is wearing Gap t-shirts or, Walmart branded, and then you're strutting around, now you're saying you're going to bow down to me, and you guys I'm going to be lord over you all. Well, that would piss right off anybody. And so the same thing in the classroom. You're giving someone all this attention, all these good things, and all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, we don't like you. We want to get rid of you. We don't like you. And so that's the exact same thing with what happened. The other brothers really didn't like him. And so they're like, okay, well, let's plot to kill him. And then they're like, yeah, it's a little harsh. A little harsh. So then we're going to get rid of him. We're going to sell him into slavery. And then once that's happened, we're going to lie and say to the dad, okay, well, he's dead. So first of all, if they really respected the dad, they would have done that. If they actually cared about their brother, they would have done that. Also, you could talk about the lack of communication that family probably had. That sounds like a big mess. But that story, I mean, there's a nice happy ending at the bottom of it, but that story kind of displays why you shouldn't play favorites, why it's bad. Like the outcome, like selling someone to slavery, it's a little extreme, but the outcome of it, it's like you can see a perfect example of why it's terrible, because it's like social alienation and it creates like a two-tier structure. Okay, that's terrible. Don't do that. Ugh. Okay, now that's like within that classroom. So when I'm in the classroom, I absolve favoritism. Like I hate it. I don't like it. There's same set of rules. No one gets certain anythings. Like it's not anything different. Whether you're this person or that person, whether or not we have better human connections, or whether or not you make my job easier. Okay. However, on the flip side of things, when it comes to, I would say, you could say in classroom, but not direct instructional method, is that I will usually, like my thing with favorites is that if I have a favorite student, I hold them to a higher standard. I don't just let them like slough off and like good enough. I'm like, no, you're going to do it right because I want you to be the best, or the best that you can possibly be. I hold them to a higher standard, and not just in the sense of like academics. I want them to be a better person. I want them to be the best, or the best that they can possibly be in that sense. But so that's that's my mentality of when it kind of choosing favorites. I also the idea is like sometimes I will spend more time investing in the person to go to a specific idea of where they can possibly be. Like if for instance, if they're a good basketball player, I will be like, hey, why, I don't mind helping you. Need some water. I don't mind teaching you certain things that are extra that, like if I'm coaching in general, is that I don't mind teaching you extra to help you in a certain area. Like I don't mind doing these things. If you need extra help, I don't mind helping. But that's available for everybody, right? Like, my thing is, if you ask for help, I will give it to you. But you, like sometimes, like I guess the favorite, if you're a favorite, I will tell you you probably need help. I won't let you come to me. I will be like, you need help because. So that's in that aspect. But my idea is that I want to push people to be better people. That is my overall arching thing. But yes, we do have favorites. If you thought this was some sort of like tabloid tell-all, my favorite student of all time or favorite students, because it seems more like it's a football team because the list grows, like whatever. But it's not that. I want to tell you about why it's damaging and harmful, but at the same time, it's harmful if you allow it to affect the classroom. If you have a mentality where you're like, okay, that it's a separate sphere, you can help them, you can do certain things for them, it can actually really, really help students. It can help them believe in themselves. I had this one student that I would go and I'd watch their hockey games, and I know that a lot of teachers probably would say, no, it's probably like a dumb thing. Why would you go do that? And I really wanted to show that I actually supported the student. And they're a great student, and I really wish them well in in their future endeavors. But to me, it was important that I supported them, because when they see that you support them in not only just the way of supporting them inside, like as an academic standpoint, that you support them in other aspects of their life, that they actually really care. And when you tell them in the sense of, I want to support you academically, like I'm trying to teach you, it comes from a better nurturing standpoint. And it's kind of like people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. So there's that aspect of it. And in all reality, it's something that a lot of people can get fired up about, but it is what it is. So that's the end of it. That's the end, because I could talk about it to death. So very briefly, I want to mention for a schedule for the new year, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try and break it up into at least 1 to 2 episodes a week. Not 1 to 2 episodes a week. I want it to be one episode every 1 to 2 weeks. That's kind of where I'm aiming for it, just because I get really busy. And then there were 2 questions in the other part of the Q&A that were asked, and those were what got me into cars, and then also pickup lines and what's my opinion on them. So those are 2 very polarizing things in and of itself. So I'll dedicate enough time about that. But at the same time, thank you very much for listening to this. I know it's probably a little bit of a longer video, so thank you. If you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I do upload. And honestly, the best way, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Actually, one thing that I would like you guys to do is tell me about what you got that was your favorite Christmas present, and then one goal you have for New Year's. And leave those in the comments below. And yeah, honestly, stay out of trouble. Have a fantastic day. And Happy New Year, I guess, because in a day and a bit, it will be New Year's. And yeah, so thank you very much. Take care. See ya.